Meanwhile, we find our heroes in the center of Lad's Addition, engaged in a strange arcane ritual.
Okay, let's try the chant one more time with a little bit more bug milk. All right?
Now, should I finish the bug milk?
No, because
just a little bit of it.
Just in case we need to, if we do need to send him away, we need a little bit left.
Audience, you should really understand that we're both gesturing with bananas in our hands while doing this, because this is serious work.
And I've got the tarot bat.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh wait, you're supposed to slash at some point, aren't you?
Well,
why don't you slash at the end of the first utterance? Just don't hit my hand.
Okay. Maloso vobiscum et cum spiritum. Whoosh. Oh, that was gross.
Oh, it's going through his mouth.
Oh, there's a hole. Is that a portal?
It's technically a portal. We did actually create a portal.
There's a tiny little portal. This sort of seems like the sort of thing that needs a giant mushroom bomb. We should have taken a bunch of mushrooms.
Yeah, I did take some today for microdosing.
Time to get real! I want to see some crazy whiz-biz!
What's the magnet made out of, ding-dong?
I want to see some of that whiz-biz.
This castle is in unacceptable condition! Unacceptable! Mathematical!
Bacon pancake!
Hello there, people. Welcome to the WizBiz with Alex and Eric. This is Alex, and that's
Eric.
Hey, I got it right. Tonight we're discussing Season 2, Episodes 1 and 2 of Adventure Time. Season 2, it's finally happened. Ladies and gentlemen, we slogged through the long, scary darkness as is Season 1 to merge into the bright light of hellish thing that is Season 2.
I have been excited about Season 2 for a long time. I feel like Season 2, it just kicks off with some really great stuff that just introduces cool plot elements and fun things, and stuff starts happening right away.
Episode 1 is a strong start, but before we talk about Season 2, Episode 1, I do believe we need to tell the audience about something.
Okay.
So 2 episodes ago.
On
this very show, we said that we were going to go axe throwing.
Oh my God. We went axe throwing.
Now, I need to tell you something, Eric.
Okay.
This is a little backstory to our axe throwing that you don't know.
Oh.
I was 2% thinking about killing you with an axe, but only 2%.
Okay. What was the other 98% of you thinking about killing me with?
Definitely didn't want to kill you with anything.
With nothing?
No, I wanted you to live a long and healthy life, 98%.
Oh,
and then 2%, just think about how popular, 1, the Arnomancy Archive will get, 2, Alex Cast Archive, John and Alex Hate Stuff, and John has another podcast that he could be the guy that his podcast partner killed his other podcast partner with an axe at a casual axe throwing event.
It could be better than that. John could make a true crime podcast about...
Exactly.
Oh, so we really screwed up. You should have killed me.
So here's the thing. I'd be gutted if you died. But 2% of me, definitely less than 15, was thinking, just throw an axe in his head.
Man, missed opportunities.
Yeah, though, I probably would have tried it early, and we weren't very good at throwing them early.
Yeah, you probably just would have hit me with a handle or something. I probably would have just gotten a concussion, honestly.
Well, I guess if you got concussed, I could follow up with a full axe throttling.
That's true. And, honestly, given our first few throws, I probably would have just got a bruised shin.
That's true, but you probably would fall, and then it could dive on you and do, here's Johnny, and then I'll cut through your head.
Yeah, except that I also had an axe.
I feel like I'm more nimble than you, which we should tell people.
Hold on.
Now that it turns out that we have thrown our axes, we should tell them the result.
Yeah.
On Twitter, I put up a poll saying who would win. Alex, Eric. They would both get horribly injured. Alex got 13%. Eric got 13%. They'll both get horribly injured. Got
74%. 74% of people thought that we would both... I actually voted for us both getting horribly injured.
I think I voted for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's flattering.
Yeah.
That must have been the 4% of you that felt guilty about the 2% of you that wanted to kill me.
It's definitely under 20%. I was thinking about murdering you. It's and low on 18 tops. Yeah. So I guess we should tell the audience that we tied.
We tied.
Yeah. And didn't get injured.
Well, we played 2 different games. The first one was sort of like just an around
the world.
Around the world.
Which I defeated you.
Yeah, I think you beat me 2-1. And then we played cricket.
Which I think you beat me 2-0.
Yeah, and I beat you on cricket. Was it really? Yeah, I guess so, because we only played twice, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the end, we were tied. I mean, you know what? But I don't think it's fair yet. I don't think we can really say for certain.
Oh, this does not close the book of axe throwing competition on this show.
I mean, so there's a couple things that we need to talk about. First of all, it was a fucking blast. I loved
very
it.
fun.
Axe throwing was amazing. So if you guys are in Portland, dear listeners, we went to Celtic Axe. And
we went to the one at Hopworks Urban Brewery.
Yeah.
And our axe throwing master, El Pastor, a.k.a. I didn't remember his real name.
But yeah, Al Pastor, he was really helpful. He was really cool. You know, when we were having trouble with the axes, he's like, oh, try this one with a longer handle. And like right away, we both started improving.
Yes.
But I mean, you know, we started off just barely able to do anything. And by the end, I would say we were sticking the axe in the board 80% of the time.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. We were doing a lot of sticking. It was doing well.
It wasn't always where we wanted it to go.
The aim was still a little struggle. I feel that midway through, when I was getting the hang of the throw, I should have switched back to the small axe, because I started doing well with the small axe. I felt more accurate, but I was bouncing off the board more. And once I got my throw in, I feel like I probably get more accuracy. So if we go again, I'm going to try some small axe action.
I think also, you know, going into it, I was sort of positing. I posited that you would do better than me because you do all of the disc golfing stuff.
Yes.
But it turns out that some of the disc golfing technique got in the way of your axe throwing.
It was a huge detriment.
Because the axes pretty much just flipped themselves, and Alex was adding a little bit of extra.
I was doing
wrist.
a lot of wrist, because that's what you do in the disc golf.
Turns out you don't need to do the wrist.
And it was really hard for me to fight all that years of high level professional disc golf competition that I have ingrained in me.
Oh man, but it was a blast. I really loved it.
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it greatly. I would like to go again. I want to win the axe at the end, where you throw, if you get a certain number of points, you win an axe.
Yeah, that was a difficult one. Okay, before we continue, I am going to adjust your microphone a little bit. Is there a pause? Let's find out. I think if all right, so we're covering season 2, episodes 1 and 2 in this episode. And the first one of those, episode 1,
welcome to the Nightosphere. Is that what it's called?
It came from the Nightosphere. And honestly, you know,
wait. I want to stop you. Sorry.
Okay.
Do we want to talk about our history with this before we talk about the actual episode? Because we've referenced it.
Yeah. So this episode inspired us. Like, I guess it was like 4 years ago, at least now, maybe 5 years ago. It was before the pandemic.
I think closer to 5. Yeah.
Because so. I was still a pretty new podcaster, and I'd been on your show a few times, and we decided to do a Halloween episode, a 2-parter, where we took the ritual from this and we went to the middle of Lads Edition and tried to summon Hunts and Abadir.
Yes, using homemade bug milk, which is, I ordered desiccated bugs off of Amazon.
Oh man, it was so fucking gross.
And a bottle of
so
I think it was cow milk. It may have been oat milk that I just happened to have in the fridge.
Yeah.
And so I ground up the bugs in a coffee grinder and mixed it with the milk. With the Lads Edition with bananas, the milk, the Phil face drawn on a big piece of paper, and we stood in the middle of Lads doing the chant. Do you remember what it is? Wobis?
Oh, yeah. Moloso vobiscum et cum spiritum. Yes. And, you know, it was kind of a fun experience for a number of reasons. Like, first of all, at that point, I was doing, I think, pretty much all of my podcast recording on my field recorder. So I had my field recorder, it's a lavalier mic on me, and a wireless lavalier mic on you. Remember that?
We were very fancy.
We were very fancy. I had my tarot bat with me. We did some chanting.
Oh,
we
I forgot
had bananas.
you had the tarot bat with you. Yes.
Yeah, we had bananas. We had cold fries from McDonald's, or I think they were from McDonald's.
Oh yeah, we did. Shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we brought fries. We brought everything. It was it was hilarious. And we didn't really summon Hunts and Abadir. thankfully.
No, we didn't, nor did we summon any kind of weird synchronicity around Adventure Time. I was positing that the hope would be like maybe somebody would walk through the park as we're finishing with an Adventure Time shirt on or something.
Yeah.
Or somebody with a dog named Jake would walk through, or Eric gets his soul sucked out by the embodiment of evil.
Yeah, and none of those happened.
The last one,
I feel like my soul is still here.
Really?
Yeah, listen to me sing. Daddy, why did you eat my fries?
No.
Daddy, do you even love me?
I would just point out that you should have read the fine print on the Alex Cast contract that you signed when you first showed up, because I assure you, you do not have ownership of your soul. What can I say? I'm a soul stealer. Okay, so
my soul is a timeshare.
Yeah, perfect. That is our background. It is a momentous episode in the history of Arnemancy, of My Chemical Bromance, of the Alex Cast.
Oh yeah, it really set the tone. I mean, we've done, 3 or 4 Halloween specials together, I think?
3, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because we did that. Then we tried to summon Etrigan the demon.
Right.
The next year.
That was a blast,
And
too.
then we did like a weird pandemic remote one.
Yeah, just last year in 2022. That was a WizBiz special.
No. Oh, we did do 4 of that. No, because there was a Halloween Alex Cast Arnemancy dual thing during the pandemic.
Yeah, and we had like some guests call in.
It was
Steph Quick was there.
It was somewhat awkward, and I think that's why we forgot.
Yeah, it didn't. Everything went poorly.
It was the
year.
pandemic. We didn't know what was happening.
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah.
No, then we did a WizBiz one where we were live on Twitch last year.
Yeah.
So we're like regular Halloween guys.
Yeah, I thought the Twitch one was probably the most fun.
Yes.
And I believe it's on our YouTube. We have a YouTube channel that we never talk about because we never use it.
Well, I think there's just the one video, if that's even on there.
Yeah, I think I put it up there.
Did you?
I'll put a link to it in the show notes if it exists.
And if it doesn't, then it's
whoops.
lost.
No,
Lost in the
I
ages.
definitely saved it. I know I downloaded it. So this episode, it's it's about Hunson Abadir, and you might be asking yourself, who the hell is Hunson Abadir? And yes, Hunson Abadir is the king of hell, the master of the Nightosphere,
Son of the Hun,
and the father of Marceline, the vampire queen.
Correct.
Yeah, and I mean, this episode opens with kind of a really touching thing where you see that. So I think the last time we saw Marceline was in like the Henchman episode in season 1.
That's the last one I remember.
And at the end of that, Marceline and Finn were kind of like bonding, and we see that they've actually become friends. Like they jam and make music together, and they have this thing where like Finn is beatboxing and Marceline plays the song.
Is this the first Finn beatbox?
I don't think so.
Because I know he's done robot voice.
Has he
that auto tune computer in the?
Did he already do that?
I thought so.
Yeah, I think it's. I'm not sure if it's first beatbox.
He definitely beatboxes across the show.
Yeah.
So there's an annoying momentous thing where it's like, oh god, this is going to happen for the rest of it. Because let's face it, some of Finn's attributes are less than.
Yeah, I mean, he's
just a wee little boy.
He's
last human.
He's kind of.
I'm not dunking on him. I'm just saying,
sometimes.
as someone that's got to watch this shit, I was like, oh god, he's singing.
Marceline is like really. So we still see in this episode, I think Marceline hasn't totally regained her compassion for mortals. Right? She's still kind of distant. And it's funny, we learn later on that like this episode that she's singing about happened 1,000 years ago.
Yes, when her daddy ate her fries.
Yes. Which was like just after the Mushroom War.
I know I've brought this up on the show before, but I'm still confused as to how this happens.
Okay.
Marceline is born, the offspring, like Hunson Abadir put his pee-pee in her mom's. I don't know how it works, but they make the mommy and the daddy sounds.
Yeah, it's a special hug.
Okay, yeah. So they do the special hug, and then Marceline is born.
Uh-huh.
How did they meet?
We never see that.
Hunson Abadir seems distinct from humanity, very much separated. In fact, he's trying to eat their souls. But beyond that, this posits. I've said posits 5 times this episode.
I started it.
Oh, is that where I got it? I'm so bad at that. I got that weird verbal empathy thing. This brings up the idea that the Nightosphere predates the Mushroom War and all the weirdness.
It does.
So that means that even before the Mushroom War, bananas were demon poop. Ipso facto, etc.
Yeah, I think not all bananas.
And
Merida. Fuck. I don't think all bananas are demon poop. I think now possibly all bananas are demon poop. Definitely all bananas in the Nightosphere are demon poop.
Okay. And they just accidentally look like bananas?
Or maybe they are bananas. Maybe, I don't know.
It sounds like some weird 16th century thing where they thought there was like tiny little homunculus in your eyeballs, or like, you jizz tiny humans, and that's where babies come from. Where it's like, oh
so
no,
anyway, Howie,
let's
talk about where bananas come from.
Demons are the banana tree.
But I love the fact that like the way we learn about the ritual is, Marceline is just sort of offhandedly saying like, oh, it's so much work to see my dad. I mean, the song, like, first of all, the song is so amazing. It ends up being like one of the only songs that's used, one of the only like episode specific songs that gets used more than once across all the Adventure Time stuff, which is kind of cool. And just sort of, I usually don't talk about this until the end of the episode, but Hunson Abadir is played by Martin Olson, Olivia Olson's actual dad.
Yes.
So Olivia Olson, who plays Marceline, actually sings the song. There are some great YouTube videos of the two of them duetting this song, and it's such a tearjerker of a song, and it's really just about a young girl whose dad eats her fries when she wanted them, and then she's like, "Daddy, do you even love me?" And the way she says it, I mean, it hurts Finn. Like, you can see the feelings.
Because Finn doesn't have parents, or he's got dog parents. I would say, though, that is not about fries. And Marceline is so distant from her emotions that the only way she can approach the idea of feeling like her father abandoned her and this man that she's not sure even can feel love.
Uh-huh.
So her doubt takes the form of that one time that he stole her fries, because it's the only way she can articulate it as a demon vampire queen. So the fries really are nothing. The fries are metaphor. Fries as metaphor.
Fries as metaphor. Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's probably true.
Fries also an electronics store and the lead character in Futurama. Oh, sorry.
Fries doesn't exist anymore.
I forgot to tell you that I'm Wikipedia. That's sad. Is that true?
Well, at least the one up here doesn't. I don't know if there are any Fries left.
Oh, that makes me sad.
It makes me sad.
I've been to Fries a bunch of times. I bought computer shit there. It was great.
Pandemic. Why did you eat fries?
Yeah.
It was the only thing to do in Wilsonville.
Yeah. Speaking of Wilsonville.
Speaking of Wilsonville.
Well, if you're editing this, I was trying to give you a clear cut.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'll think about editing it. I mean, I'm going to be editing it. I'll think about how seriously I will take the editing, which is seriously. I'm getting a look. He gave me a look.
What I would say is that if I hear edits in this episode, but you leave that in pretending that you're not going to edit to make us look better,
uh-huh,
I'm going to say, well done, good sir. Well done. See, you thought I was going the other way, but I didn't. I went this way.
So anyhow, Marceline talks about how hard it is to see her dad, and she talks about the ritual that it takes to summon him.
Yeah, she's just offhanded, like, oh, God, you have to throw bug milk on this picture and say, we'll be... Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And so Finn does it, and a portal to the Nightosphere opens up. Hunson Abadir comes through, and right away, he's just like sucking souls. He goes after Finn's soul.
Which, by the way, just on the Finn note, very impressive of our young boy. I did an episode with you where I said that phrase, I'm going to say, 30 times?
Yeah.
You said it to me just earlier tonight. I still can't remember that fucker. Finn heard it once, offhandedly, in a story he was being told, and could repeat it like that. Well done.
Dude, it's worse than that. When we were doing the ritual, and I have this in recording.
I fucked up. Yeah.
I said it to you so many times, and you repeated it back to me wrong, like 10 times before you got it. So Finn really kicked ass there.
One, I'm bad at recitation. I've always been that way. That's what stopped me from acting. That sounds like I'm leaving you to joke. It literally is. I like acting, but I can never fucking remember. I'm not good at rote recitation. It's never been my thing.
Yeah, well.
And apparently this little boy, last of the humans, can outshine me. Little fuck.
Hey, maybe he deserves to be last of the humans.
Yeah, he just got lucky because he got born on that fucking awesome Themyscira-like island. Sorry that was born to poverty and filth. Dickensian little boy.
He was also raised by dogs.
Yeah, please talk about the episode. There's too many tangents in this one already.
Are there? I don't think there are too many tangents. Don't people listen for the tangents?
Yeah, I guess so. I just feel bad sometimes. I got low self-esteem.
So when Hudson Abadir leaves, he takes Marceline's bass guitar, which turns out is the family axe that she turned into a guitar, and that's the only reason she helps Finn out, which is good because Finn needs help. Finn's like, holy shit, this is a super bad situation. Hudson Abadir turns into this big, what do we call giant monsters? Kaiju. He turns into this basically like demon soul-sucking kaiju.
What he reminded me of is the animated sequence of the trial in Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Oh, geez.
You know, where there's that weird, like, there's like the ass that walks by and tries to shit on him, and like there's this weird trip. But he
does look kind of like a big ass.
Yeah, no, it's got that like I don't know if maybe that was their like animation reference, but it's very similar.
And there's
Well,
a
maybe not
hint
very
also.
similar.
There's a hint to something that happens in a later Nightosphere episode when we see something living inside Hudson Abadir. Like he has.
Oh no, so in this one when he opens his mouth, you can see another creature in the back.
Yeah. And we see that creature again.
I've never watched this show before, so I don't know.
Oh god.
This is my first time through. I don't know if the audience knows this. I've never seen an episode of Adventure Time.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so sorry. All those references I made to like later episodes, that was really
Wild
good guesswork.
guesses.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous wild guesses.
Hey, you know.
Okay, so he goes on a rampage. They try to stop him, and there's this great fight scene between I can't remember, is it Finn and Hudson Abadir? Is it with the karate kicks? Karate kick.
No, karate
chop.
kick is between Marceline and Hudson.
Yeah.
Because she's holding him and he goes karate kick and his leg comes up at this ridiculous angle that
Kicks
really
her in
made
the
me laugh.
face.
Yeah.
And then karate chop. And then it's like, you can't destroy me. And then...
Oh, there's a great line too where he goes, I'm mostly going to kill your dad. He's like, you can't kill my dad. It's like, you know, trying to talk her dad. He's like, no, literally, you can't kill my dad. He's unkillable.
He's deathless.
Yeah, he's deathless. That's
Yeah,
it.
I know. I love that.
It's so fun.
And so the rampage continues because Finn can't stop him. Marceline only wants her axe back. And then that's when we get one of the clues to one of the big secrets, one of the big mysteries in the show. When Hudson Abadir finds Gunter.
Yes.
And he looks down and says something like...
Well, I have the quote if you
like
like
you have
it.
the quote? Okay.
Of all of history's greatest monsters, you are, by far, the most evil thing I've ever encountered.
Yeah.
And that is the Lord of Hell talking to a penguin.
And
this
you don't
show's so
have
great.
any idea why. Like, you're sort of like, what? Because Hudson Abadir...
Because you think it's a joke
Yeah, you
now,
think it's
and
a
then
joke.
you find out, like, it's kind of true.
But then Hudson Abadir turns around and he sucks the souls out of all the other penguins.
Yeah.
But he can't take Gunter's.
Yes.
And then I wish we would have gotten to see a Hudson Abadir Ice King fight. I think that would have been fun, except Hudson Abadir scares the shit out of Ice King, literally. He says, I've soiled my tunic completely by choice.
Yes.
And runs away.
Kind of
And
nerfs Ice King there. I know he's a coward, but it's like,
Yeah.
you're on his territory. He's one of the, like, the four basic principles that create this world.
yeah, you'd think
mean,
he
you
would
know,
be able
yeah.
to take on Hudson Abadir.
Yeah, just a little more spine there, dude.
Yeah. It would have been fun to see any of the other, elementals fighting Hudson Abadir. I would have loved to see Princess Bubblegum fight
Well,
him.
Bubblegum would get her ass handed to her. I feel like the only elementals that could stand up to Hudson Abadir is the slime, because he just, you just throw slime and he's like, oh, it's fucking gross, and he
Maybe
goes back
Flame
to hell.
Princess, maybe.
Yeah, and then flame. But I mean, the Nightosphere does it have flame, or am I confusing that
Hudson
with like
Abadir might
Christian
be
Hell?
immune to fire. I think there's a lot of fire in the Nightosphere.
Yeah.
But Ice King should have been able to do something. Slow him down, encase him in ice.
Yeah, make cool ice puns like Arnold Schwarzenegger in that one Batman movie.
You mean the movie with the nipples?
I believe that's the same one.
Fuck. In the end, the good guys do prevail, and the souls are all released. And
Oh, wait. They're not, though. Because if you watch,
yeah,
souls come out, but you see the little green kind of tadpole egg-looking things.
yeah.
They're still in there, and there's still stuff in there when he gets dragged back to the Nightosphere.
So you don't think that all the souls got
I
let
do
out?
not think all the souls,
Oh,
and I think
shit.
there's video evidence of the fact.
Well,
Let's go to the riffs.
let's go go to the instant replay. I think a lot of the souls though did get,
I'm sure a majority, or at least the most recent ones, but they were definitely still in there.
Yeah.
So basically I'm saying Finn is like a heartless monster that just let people go to eternal suffering.
He just
for no
had
reason.
to he had to get rid of Hunts and Abadir when he could. Then right at the end, I love that it turns out Jake was there all along.
Yeah, hey Finn, I've been to ask you, what's up with that pocket in your shirt? Oh, that's where Jake is. And then Jake just farts.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. Hunts and Abadir is probably the most dangerous thing that Finn has ever faced.
Yes.
And Jake didn't help.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, which I do love at the end of the episode where they reveal Jake's been in his pocket the whole time. It makes you think, oh yeah, it's weird they didn't, like, the thought didn't occur to me of, hey, where's Jake?
Yeah.
It's a fun, kind of writer. I would say that at no point, other than his soul trying to be ripped out, Finn wasn't in that much danger. And what's Jake going to do when his soul's getting ripped out,
Yeah. Yeah. And also, Jake is terrified of Marceline still, I think.
That's true. And Jake was feeling a little gassy. You really want to fight evil when you're gassy?
I only want to fight evil when I'm gassy.
Yeah, but you keep calling that your special weapon, and it's not your special weapon.
Well, I'm gassy all the time, so
yeah,
I better
exactly.
get my special weapon.
Yeah, it's just called GERD, dude.
GERD?
Isn't that gastroencephalographic reflex law?
I don't know. That's cool.
I know. Oh, that might be heartburn.
Oh.
Yeah, whatever. It's some kind of gross thing that gross old guys like us get.
The farts.
I mean, not me. I'm like a cool young hip guy with
Are you getting gray hairs?
I've had gray hair since we met. But I'm getting them in like a dignified, sexy Reed Richards kind of way.
Right.
Because nothing finds girls sexier than Fantastic Four references.
Okay, so let's see. I already talked about most of my trivia. So Hunts and Abadir is played by Olivia Olsen's actual dad. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Covered it in depth.
Yes. There are some returning characters in this episode. The Marauders, which were in the what was it? The Boom Boom Mountain episode.
A duck. There's been ducks in previous episodes.
Was it the duck though? Was it a repeating duck, or did you there just was a duck? Because
no, actually, to be fair, I'm thinking of the next episode.
Oh, fuck.
I forgot. That's not this one.
Okay.
Well, because it's like the cold open in the next one. I kind of thought that was the cold open. Marceline's cave, where Finn and Jake lived for a short period of time. That's a recurring guest.
That is a returning. And we see that again and again. Like that's basically Marceline's hangout for quite a while.
Yes.
So that place will be back. I don't know if the Marauders ever come back, but that was but I loved the Boom Boom Mountain episode.
The Marauders got their souls sucked out, so I can't imagine they come back.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe they were some of the souls that got released. I don't know. But it didn't seem like there was a lot of souls that got released.
At the end, it didn't really seem like the souls knew where to go. They were just sort of floating around bumping into each other. I assume eventually they helped the souls get back.
Maybe. Oh, I was going to ask you about that. The Marauder Viking types.
Yeah.
Did that, make you feel sad? You being of, a Viking stock, watching their souls get... were you like, by Odin, I shall avenge ye?
I feel like, maybe if we had managed to summon Hunts and Abadir, I would have punched him.
I would have paid a lot of money for that.
I would have hit him with the tarot bat.
This is not to get back to this whole Dharma thing, but that is his job. He can't really, you can punch him in the gut, punch him in the face, but not a tarot bat.
Okay. I disagree, but we'll just have to wait and see. If the situation ever really comes up. Which I don't know if it will.
I mean, I feel like...
Oops.
a cartoon anthropomorphization of evil appearing to you while you have a bat in hand. I think there's like a 1 in 5 chance of that happening.
1 in 5 sounds fair.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I would say slightly more than the chance of me having thrown an axe at your head the other day.
Yeah. I think that's definitely fair.
What's 3 in 12? What's that?
That's 1/4. That's
25%. Okay, so 25% of the episodes that we've recorded, you've forgotten to turn your ringer off. I knew what the math was. I was just trying to do it that way to make it more. Yeah, that is at least the third time. It may be the fourth.
Yeah, maybe. I think early on, but I mean, I've done a pretty good job of
was like 3 episodes ago. You forgot.
I don't think that's true. I honestly don't
It
think.
was.
I'm remembering back.
You even commented on it when you turned it off and said, hey, look, I remembered. Fuck.
Oh, boy. You know, it's one of those things. I should have one of those checklists.
Yeah, I'm a fan of I just never have my ringer on ever.
Yeah, I know. It makes it hard to reach you sometimes.
Yeah. Win. All right, so Eric, I think we may have discussed episode 1 of season 2 enough.
Well, then, is it time for a segment?
I think we should do a segment. That's what I was driving at. I'm glad you picked that up.
Okay. All right. Well, before we get into a segment, can I have one of those fancy beverages?
Eric is lowering himself to drink one of my stupid-ass White Claw hard seltzers, Black Cherry edition.
Black Cherry. They don't sound as good as beers.
No. Oh, you know what? I think you needed to commit to the full open.
I didn't want to break a nail.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Eric has taken to having very gussied up nails as of late.
Currently, they're sort of serving a dual purpose. You know, I did a lot of cleaning, and I didn't wear gloves, and I sort of damaged my fingernails. Like this cleaning solution burned away at my nails. So right now, they're sort of protecting the delicate.
That's why it's weird this hasn't come up on the show before, but you know the Phantom of the Opera mask that I'm always wearing when we're recording?
Yeah.
I had acid thrown at my face. Did we ever talk about this?
Oh, that's right. I guess I totally had forgotten about that.
That's why, I know it's weird that we were like, that this wouldn't come up, but yeah, that's why
I thought you were always sort of wearing that to make fun of me since Phantom of the Opera's name is Eric, and it was just sort of like a thing.
I mean, you know, it can be two things at once. This can be a Laird show. Speaking of Laird show, what segment do we want to do?
Well, you know, I mean, since we're recording in a new location, I suppose we could do a segment like, Eric, tell me a story about a weird thing in your study.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present our recurring bit. Hey, Eric, why don't you tell me about some weird thing that's in your study?
Well, point out a weird thing, and I'll tell you a story about it.
I have to pick?
Yeah.
All right, so, crayons, huh? No, I don't, all this is like normal. Eric's got he's got a Buffalo Bills pennant, Portland Trailblazers on like most of the surfaces.
All of my Super Bowl rings over on the wall there.
Yeah. 8 seasons, 2 rings. I mean, what's that thing up there?
Oh, the robot?
Yeah, what's the
It's
robot?
a robot car. So I really enjoy electronics. I don't tinker with it as much as I did, but for a couple of years I was really, really into.
He does have a soldering iron on his desk.
It's a soldering station.
Station. Oh, my mistake.
It's very fancy.
I had no idea.
Oh yeah, with like a dial that I can control the temperature very precisely and stuff. Yeah. So it's a robot car that I mean car in quotes. It has 4 wheels and it's controlled with little servos and motors, and it has an Arduino microcontroller board on it. Along with a bunch of weird sensors and stuff. So it has like an echolocation sensor, it has infrared sensors, and you can basically like plug it into a computer, program the Arduino to do various things, and it'll drive the car around on its own.
That's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. I haven't used it in a while. I bet if we got it down, it'd be really dusty. And you'd be like, Eric, how come you never dust up here? And I'd be like, Alex, you're the only friend of mine who's tall enough to see up there.
True. But also anybody can see over there that horrific nest of cobwebs that you have on your windowsill.
That's not horrific. That's
very dusty.
It's just
now, Eric, you've seen my apartment. It is spotless, and I feel like I'm in the place to judge. So, audience, you should know that I live in what could best be described as squalor.
It's not squalor. It's
untidy.
It's a
untidy basement mess.
Untidy basement. No, I was gonna say it's got character and atmosphere,
aka signs of being unfuckable. I do actually. I have a segment for you, Eric. A quick one.
Okay.
Quickie. Hold on one second.
Ooh! This is very exciting. Alex is reaching into his bag, and he's bringing forth.
Eric and I were speaking on Sunday that he did not know that I was a poet in my previous life.
I mean, I
guess he knew, but whatever. Yeah. I didn't know how to introduce it.
I had forgotten about the Void Sutras, though. I don't think I've read those.
Yes, it came up that Eric had not read it, so I'm going to give Eric, as a gift, a very poorly printed version of the Void Sutras. I tried to make it work.
Ooh.
And the words are all legible, except for the cover where I cut the S of Sutras off and almost the last letter of my name. Because I did the size wrong. Yeah.
So is the segment going to be I'm going to read a poem?
Yeah, if you want to. I wasn't thinking that, but yes, let's do that.
Ooh,
Let me see what they
that
are.
one looks dark.
That's a good one. Here, there's a poem. Read the sacral chakra or
Okay.
sacral.
Sacral Chakra by Alex Bolin. Celebrated in a bombast of rain and circumstances, we moved at speed. We spoke as spaces between droplets over tables in an emptying room. Celebrated in an explosion of insight and small moments of eyes entwined and words flowing lithely, we became as small movements of delicate hands and numbing lips as the first gasp of winter slid between our breath. Good.
Yeah, it's a
I
poem.
like that.
Thank you.
That is a poem. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when we were, I've been interested in learning how to write poetry or figuring out how to write poetry for a while, for a long time, and honestly, I'm so bad at it. I feel like I don't even know how to get good at it, and so I ask people, "How the hell do you write a poem?" pretty often, and I get a lot of different answers from different poets, and none of it really ever seems to help, and so. Well,
I can give you a hint, like on that one. What you do is just write sentences and just put a carriage return in weird spots.
Ooh,
Yeah, I mean, that's really it.
I can write a poem.
Basically a poem is just like a long sentence with weird carriage returns. What I like to do from a poetry standpoint, like haiku, how there's always like a nature aspect or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And it's done in so I try to get emotional content with the fewest amount of words. It's kind of that's my how to write a poem in very short form, is try to get an emotion off with just the smallest amount of words while using as beautiful of language as you can.
Okay.
And just, make it flow. The make it flow part, that's where it's weird.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
just, make it sound nice. But I mean, the main thing is if you use few words and try to get an emotional content across, it's pretty poem-y. Don't use ands.
Yeah.
I mean, you can use and, but you know what I'm saying? Like, don't make full sentences with periods and.
Okay.
Like, if you ever have
yeah. That makes sense. So yeah, here's a poem that I tried to write. I mean, I don't actually have the poem, but I'll tell you the theme that I was trying to write about, or the thing that I was sort of trying to describe. I was thinking about a couple weeks ago. I was walking through Northeast Portland in the rain, and I was walking along Sandy, so there's a lot of traffic, and it was splashy and wet and dark and miserable, and the rain was coming down, and I came to this brewery that I wanted to go to, and it was just nice and warm and welcoming in there, and there was that sort of transition from this like miserable, getting splashed by passing cars, dark gray day to this like warm, comforting, like fancy beer, sitting at a bar with a friend sort of thing. And I was like, this could be a poem.
Yeah, so write the poem.
Okay. I tried, but I ended up with a lot of really long sentences.
Well, so what you do is just chop out the ands.
Chop out the ands and break
there are
the
some
sentences in weird places.
Bunch of carriage returns.
Maybe add a metaphor or two.
There is a short story by Hemingway, which describes this.
Boo.
Well, yeah.
Boo, Hemingway.
As a person, yes. As a writer, no finer writer has ever existed.
Oh my God. This is the end of our friendship.
I mean, so anyway, A Clean, Well-Lighted Place is a short story describing exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
Well, not exactly, but I think reading Hemingway is a good way to learn how to write poetry because he distilled the sentence down to its like constituent parts and still made it beautiful.
I've read Hemingway.
Really? I
Yes.
love Hemingway.
Well, you aren't right about everything.
Which one didn't you like?
Name one.
Clean, Well-Lighted Place.
Hated it.
What's the one where he goes to watch?
I don't know. We're not talking about Hemingway.
Bullfighting, and his friend had his testicles off, and it's done really, really
Sun
well.
Also Rises.
Yes, The Sun Also Rises is beautiful.
Ugh.
All right, I'll allow you to not like Hemingway. That's
Thank you,
fine.
thank
But
you.
if you like Herman Melville, this is done.
I don't even have strong feelings in either direction about Herman Melville.
Okay, that's
although
acceptable.
Captain Ahab's last words are pretty good.
There's some good stuff in that book.
Yeah.
It's just the book as a whole is a fucking train wreck, and I've said it.
From hell's heart I stab at thee.
Yeah, I liked it in the original Klingon. Just really quick, people at home, I want you to understand this thing about Moby Dick. Moby Dick was understood to be a terrible work that no one liked. There was one academic, I think he was at Harvard, that started just banging the drum saying, this is the greatest work of blah, blah, blah. The boredom is intentional because you're on the ship. And
boredom is intentional.
No, literally, that's the argument. Oh, of course, because it evokes the sense of boredom being stuck on a ship for so long. And this motherfucker, like, gaslighted the entire world into thinking that Moby Dick is a work of literature. This great literature, I should say. And there's 2 chapters about tying knots. It is a garbage book. Season 2 episode.
I'm looking at I feel like at some point I had a copy of Moby Dick, but I've gotten rid of it. I mean, it's so fucking huge. It takes up too much shelf space. And
2 chapters on knot tying.
Which is okay if you are a Boy Scout handbook.
Yeah, also, it's okay if you're just like a mediocre book from a couple hundred years ago, which is what that book is. It's fine. It's just not one of the best books ever written. Sorry, it's not. Come at me, bro.
Dude,
at WizBizPod.
I don't need to come at you. I don't have
I was talking to the audience.
feelings. Oh, yeah. You mean the people in the audience?
That's why I gave the Twitter address, because you would know that already. I
feel like we should probably take all the stuff about being a Herman Melville fan podcast out of our podcast description then.
I don't know why we put that there in the first place. I'm going to be honest with you.
I think we thought we would attract academics.
Everything I just said was satire. we're the Candide of podcasts, and
we're Herman Melville stands.
There's
we love whales.
Especially
white whales.
I wish 4 chapters were devoted
to knot tying.
To it. I wish also you would open it with "Call Me Ishmael," and then a bunch of dummies think that's your real name. No offense, dummies. That reminds me of how Nimrod now means stupid because of a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Yeah.
It's true. Oh, audience at home, if you don't know that. Nimrod's a guy from the Bible. He's a famous hunter. So Bugs Bunny called Elmer Fudd Nimrod in one of the early cartoons, but he meant it in like a pejorative kind of silly way. And now that word means a dumbass. Yeah. And it's literally because of a cartoon duck from the
a long time ago.
Yeah, from the way back.
Yeah, I mean, we'd be better at remembering this if we hadn't been up for 7 days. You know, we had to deal with that ghost ship vortex, the fire dragon problem.
Oh, we fed that duck.
We went to Lumpy Space Princess's quinceanera. Oh yeah, and then Peppermint Butler's goblin problem, and then we had to save Wildberry Princess from the Ice King.
Yeah,
and then there was that bandito, and we saved that house. But yeah, we did feed the duck. That was good.
Yeah, the feeding the duck was the main takeaway. How old is Finn in this episode?
I think he's still
13-ish.
Is he 11?
11. Okay, so he's 11.
Maybe 12.
So that means that Lumpy Space Princess not only rapes him in a later episode, but is 5 years older than him.
Holy shit, you're right. Unless the Lumpy people do their quinceanera at a different time. Why do Lumpy people have quinceaneras?
But I think quinceanera isn't that the
15 years
Spanish
old.
for 15 or 16, right?
It's 15.
15. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, queen. Yeah.
Yeah, so the eyes.
Oh, sorry, trigger warning. I just said a shitty word. Sorry, guys.
Which word?
Oh, the trigger SA, sexual assault word.
Oh.
I shouldn't flippantly say the R word in reference to that as like a punchline.
That's true.
But it does happen in the show. It just, I shouldn't be flippant about it.
Yeah.
So I apologize.
I guess we'll worry about that one.
If that made you a little cringy, that is not my point. I'm an old man, and being aware of how you can affect people is somewhat new to me. I was raised a male in the Western world and therefore believe that all emotions are garbage.
Yeah, Alex is whack. He's got poo brain. So, season 2, episode 2, The Eyes. This is a weird one. It's...
Oh, you know the word you're thinking of? Well, it's 2 words, technically. Maybe hyphenated as 1 word, but bad episode.
Yeah, it's kind of a bad episode.
It is, and it's doubly so because it follows up a delightful season 2 opener. It's opening the doors to Marceline and the Nightosphere and all this cool lore shit, and then the next one is a fucking horse that looks at you. And not to say that that's not a funny concept. It is. But it is done in a wearisome manner.
Yeah. And it just like the whole episode is just them dealing with this stupid fucking horse. There are some good spots in the episode, like Finn, or when Jake plays classical music and summons snakes. I really enjoyed that part.
That was very funny. I liked how they don't know how to Beethoven and Mozart.
Yeah, Beethoven.
Very fun. I did the whole thing of totally being whacked with the poo brain. Jake saying I diagnosed him as being whacked with the poo brain earlier. Really fun. But for the most part, it's just it goes on too long. The hey, let's dress him as a bunny thing. Funny line, but then they spend like 3 minutes doing it and trying to talk Hawks into picking up the thing.
And the Hawks do. It's just...
And then he drops it to the ceiling. So what I realized watching it this time is, and I don't know if they're doing it purposefully, but I think they're kind of playing off of, remember, and the cat came back. They thought it was a goner, but the cat came back. It just wouldn't stay away. And then inside, they throw the cat outside and the cat comes back. They dress the cat as a bunny and have Hawks take it away and the cat comes back. It's got that same kind of repetitive, hey, let's push it down the hill. No, let's push it over there. No, I'll use my powers on you even though I'm tired. It's got a very similar feel to it, except, spoiler alert, guys. Turns out
the Ice King, no way.
It's like he came straight from Panto at Christmas time, dressed as a horse, but he couldn't find anybody to be his friend and dress as the other side.
Yeah, it was just him and the stupid horse.
How did he get that horse's eyes to dilate and move around, though?
I don't know. It's stupid. Magic?
Magic.
Yeah, but he's ice magic, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
It is stupid.
I tried. I put all sorts of effort into that.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, and I'm not even down. It's not the worst episode. It's fine. I think I would like it a lot better if I hadn't just watched, the Nightosphere episode.
Right.
And if I had not paid attention. This is a perfect... So what I love about Adventure Time, you've said this before as well, is its snackability. That it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you just fit it in when you want. And I find also it's fun to just have on in the background. I'm doing some mundane task and I just want to have my friends on TV. If I looked up every now and again and were like, shit, that horse is doing some stuff, it'd be fine. If I'm not watching the episode, but it's just kind of in the back, doing its thing.
But that's the problem, is that we watched the episode. We sat and watched the episode.
I had my phone out taking notes. I had to be present for it.
So there are a couple things I really liked about the episode. There's the fight scene music where they have that sort of bongo drum sort of thing going on, which I really liked. It kind of reminded me of the Avengers, not the superheroes, but
it reminded me of Star Trek when Kirk and Spock
Star Trek
fought,
kind of,
that kind of, or maybe not that episode, but that dramatic
And then the other thing is I liked, by the end of the episode. I didn't like that. At the end of the episode, Ice King sort of reveals that he was spying on them because he wanted to learn how to be happy. And by the end of the episode, when he's they fall asleep all cuddling.
Yes.
Cuddling with the Ice King, which I don't think Finn and Jake would ever do. I just don't see it happening.
I'm going to give them just the smallest amount of credit because they are delirious with having not slept for a week.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever stayed up for more than a night or two in a row. Your brain starts doing some funky,
really
weird poo brain stuff.
Yeah.
That I'm going to forgive the episode for. It's very out of character. There's no denying that. Yeah. But given that they're delirious from lack of sleep, all right, fine. You fell asleep on the Ice King. It's he looks soft.
Ugh. Oh God, no! You've seen into that robe. He's some sort of weird ass. And he must smell so awful.
He's cold.
He's cold. Yeah,
and that would kill off, all the bacteria and stuff.
He's it's sort of like that sort of thing where you want your pillow to be cold when you go to bed.
Yes,
he's basically the cold pillow.
So you're saying that the Ice King is cooler than the other side of the pillow. I just double pointed at Eric with that.
Those were double finger guns.
Is that how it works?
Isn't that a finger gun?
I guess so. Yeah. All right. Yeah. But in a cool Kim Wexler from Better Call Saul thing.
Oofta. I've never seen that show.
It's a great show and you should watch it. But there's no superheroes in it, so you probably won't like it.
Well, I watch shows without superheroes.
Okay. There's also no vampires.
Oh fuck.
I did like that. Ice King, it's more of his desperate loneliness shows up. I was just trying to learn how to be happy.
Yeah.
Which is, it speaks to me because I'm
a miserable
old man
though.
that's a
That's
magic
totally
user.
an Ice King thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only piece of trivia I have for this episode is that the horse design was based on the work of a comic artist named Kate Beaton, who for a good long stretch made this amazing webcomic called Hark a Vagrant. And I printed out this comic, Shetland Pony Adventures, which is the first appearance of the horse in Kate Beaton's comics for you to look at. But then I also set my lunch down on it, so it got a little stained and stuff.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. But,
okay, well, you read a poem before. I'll read this one.
Okay.
Ahem.
Ahem.
The Shetland Pony Adventures. We see a Shetland pony eating at some hay. A man comes in with suspenders saying, "Pony, I need you. We must ride like thunder." He sits upon the pony, and off they trot. And he says, "You've stopped. What's the matter? Is there danger?" For which the pony stops and responds with poop and poops. And the man, while riding away, says, "Ew." The caption underneath this comic says, "I was told I made intelligent comics, and then I made a comic about a horse that pooped." God bless you. All the way to the Nightosphere.
Kate Beaton.
That art style looked familiar to me. I think I've read some of those comics over the years.
Hark a Vagrant. So this is a really early one, but Hark a Vagrant, she sort of started off making a lot of comics about sort of making fun of Victorian novels. And they were hilarious and fairly highbrow humor, but really, really good.
I likes Moby Dick.
No, she mostly... Where's Mr. Darcy from? Wuthering Heights? Is that Wuthering Heights? Or is that... It's one of those...
It's one of those kind of like
the
Bronte-ish.
Yeah, she wrote a lot of comics about the Bronte sisters and the stuff that they wrote. And they're good. They're really, really good. Kate Beaton is incredibly skilled. I hope she listens to our podcast.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, Kate Beaton, if you're out there, thank you so much for Hark a Vagrant.
Shout out to Kate Beaton.
Yeah, I missed that comic. She probably ran it for like 5 or more years, and I read it religiously when it was in my RSS reader for sure.
Well, I very much hope they got some cash off that, because
they did. She published books. She made money.
I was like when that happens.
Yeah. It ended up being a very successful webcomic. So good job, Kate Beaton. Thank you. And it inspired this Adventure Time design.
Anything else?
I don't have anything else to say about that episode. I'm glad that you pointed out that it was a bad episode, because it's hard for me to recognize that in Adventure Time sometimes. I want to...
the thing is, there aren't many, and even this one, I wouldn't say, I said it's bad. It's not like actively shitty.
Yeah.
It's just not great. It's just like this mediocre to like, it's a C-. It's probably passing. But there's not many like bad, like actively like, holy shit, I never want to watch this episodes.
Yeah.
So, I want to give it like a little bit of a break, but also, life's short. Don't bother watching.
Yeah. You could skip this episode and you probably won't miss anything. However, Peppermint Butler shows up in this episode just a little bit.
Oh, I don't think I noticed.
It was at the beginning when they were listing all the things that they'd been doing for 7 days. One of them was
Peabots in there? Awesome.
Yeah, dealing with Peppermint Butler's goblin problem. And so there was a little bit of Peppermint Butler. I really like him. He's possibly my favorite character. Okay, so I think we have 2 things left to do before we end this.
All right. Who won tonight's episodes?
Yes. I'm going to say Gunter.
Yeah, I think Gunther's the runner away. Like, I can't even really think of a second place. It's Gunter.
Yeah, it has to be. It's almost a throwaway joke.
Yeah.
That ends up being
this massive
just
thing,
a massive,
terrific.
Massive important plot point later on. So I think Gunter wins.
Yes.
Okay, and then the other one is Alex. Please tell me you've got a shiny rock.
Boy, howdy. Do I have shiny rocks for you?
Oh,
I have more than one.
Ooh, I like this because then I get to write them down.
Well, one you don't have to write down. I'm reasonably sure you know. Well, I'm 100% sure you know this word.
Okay.
I just don't know how well known it is in like the non-nerdy people. But
I don't think any of the non-nerdy people listen to this podcast.
Oh, that's true. All right, so 100% of our audience already knows what Zugzwang is.
Zugzwang?
Yeah, Zugzwang.
Zugzwang.
Yeah.
Zugzwang?
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh, I thought you. Do you really not know?
I don't know. How do you spell it?
That isn't Zugswang or something very close. Yeah, something very close to that.
That looks German.
It is.
Okay.
Oh, I would have thought you knew this.
Well,
this isn't like a You thought you'd know this.
It is. He has the look.
It's about chess. It's about logic, and it's from German. I just figured.
Oh, we've already done this word.
Zugzwang?
Yeah.
No, that's a different. No, we did a different German word.
Okay.
Zugzwang is so in chess, and this is the metaphor for its full meaning. In chess is when the only available move, like the rest of the board, like literally your only legal move you're allowed to take, weakens your position significantly.
Okay, yeah, we didn't do this word, but I have a buddy who's a huge chess nerd, and he was telling me about this just a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
So Zugzwang is essentially like when it's like the only option left is the shitty one. You're in a Zugzwang.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is a great one. I'm glad you didn't know that off the top of your head, because it's one of those. Because I've been trying to learn chess. It's like the popularity of that word is more in the front of my head than okay. So I have another one. I have two more. This one I if you know would be good. Suspiration.
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 Suspiration. Gosh, I don't know. I'm not sure. Is that a suspiration?
It is a suspiration.
Wow, that was good. Ooh.
It's an elongated side. Very nice. And then one more, just because I think I referenced it earlier tonight.
Oh, yeah. I know Panglossian.
Oh, do you? Oh, well, that's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, Candide is possibly one of my top 5 favorite books.
Oh, that's fine. You know, if on the list of words that I thought you'd know, I definitely would have. I think that would be third of like, yeah, no one knows that fucking word.
I mean, come on, Voltaire. Like, don't I seem like the sort of dude who's read some Voltaire?
Like, I've read Candide. It's just like I
quote Candide all the time.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm not nearly that far into it. I really liked it, but it was just like, sorry, anyway, for audience home, Panglossian is being unrealistically optimistic, and it's after the character of Dr. Pangloss, who believes everything is for the best in the best of all possible worlds.
Yes, he's kind of he's too optimistic.
He's like a poo head, poo brain. He's got the poo brain.
So we should talk about where we can be found on the internet. You get to do that.
We are on TikTok, which we've uploaded exactly one thing so far. But find us on TikTok at Wisbit Podcast. And we are on Instagram, which I've done some things on there at Wisbit Podcast.
And YouTube.
Oh, and YouTube, which we have to find out whether or not we have a video on there. But if we do...
Wisbit Podcast.
Wisbit Podcast. And it'll be a good video because it's us talking and having fun on Halloween.
Yeah, and playing stupid games.
And we played stupid games.
Yeah. Were there spiders?
There were spiders.
There were spiders.
I don't know if that's going to be in the video, but remember you had that like background where the spiders were dropping down? You did,
yeah.
Eric did like a Twitch scene thing with like
I
spiders and Halloween
fun.
stuff.
It was good. I enjoyed that. The Twitch scene thing was really fun. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Stay safe and watch some Adventure Time, and don't feed your mogwai after midnight.
Exactly. And remember, if you like the show, tell at least 2 of your friends. Tell them to tell 2 of their friends. Mm-hmm. If you don't like the show, tell like 3 of your friends, and make sure they listen out of a hate watch kind of thing. Because, nothing sells books better than a book burning. See you next time.
Auf Wiedersehen, meine Champions. Mwah.